Hello honey bunches, welcome back to another video. This is an odd location. It's in my room, means I can talk uninterrupted, but I am wearing a lot of layers because it's a bit like a fridge and the weather is definitely wintry. So as the title suggests, I'm talking you through some new vegan things that have hit the mainstream shelves at supermarkets. Super exciting. Veganism is so mainstream these days, it's great. Means prices coming down, demand is there, and so I'm going to talk you through some things that I've either, the majority of, have bought a number of times and think they're pretty darn delish, or I've just bought for the first time and would like to try but may not buy them again ever. Just want to say that I really dislike haul videos and I don't want this to come across as one. Hauls are kind of like, oh, I spent all this money and I engaged in consumer capitalist culture and I've collated it for you and I'm presenting it to society for you to approve. It makes me feel a bit gross. So I hope this really doesn't come across as a haul. I buy the majority of these things on the reg and are super helpful in having a delicious vegan diet, and I hope it comes across that I'm just showing you things that might be helpful for you to know that they exist, or enlighten you to a few things you didn't know exist that could potentially make you sneak in an extra little veggie filled meal here and there to leave the animals be. So everything I got at Woolworths, unless I say otherwise, but for the most part found at Woolworths because that's just my local mainstream supermarket. I'm in Australia, in Melbourne. Gosh, I'm just saying all the crucial things at the start, not. So first things first, Amy's Kitchen. They have a collection of vegan and vegetarian items in Woolworths, including all of their soups. A new one they brought out, or at least are stocking in Australia now, is the Indian golden lentil soup, and it's labelled plant-based, so that's cool. This soup's quite thick, and so you could like kind of use it as a dal on top of rice. That would be super good because that's essentially what it tastes like. I think it has carrots and other things, yeah, in it, so it's not like strictly a dal, but you could totally have it as that. Stretch it over 2 meals with some rice, or like water it down and have it as soup. Either way, it's super good, super comforting, and they don't taste too tinned or kind of, you know, a bit oily and gross. Oily's not something that's inherently bad, it's sort of a tinned soup vibe that I've got from some tin soup. But yeah, super cool. They are a bit pricey, but if they're on special, it's pretty reasonable. Another thing that has made its way onto the Woolworths shelves, at least, don't know about Coles, is the pan chocolate ice cream. Wow! Every time I've been to the supermarket and I've been thinking about getting some, there have been a type of dad type aged person standing in front of the vegan section of ice creams and just making comments. One overheard was like, dairy-free ice cream, how's that possible? Coconut milk, ooh. And then I like go in front of them and take exactly what they're looking for and give them a big smile. I've tried two. This is the mint chip, and I've tried the chocolate one. There's like a boysenberry, a caramel one. They're as good as you'd expect them to be. Pana kind of seem to just do things 110%, and the chocolate bits in them, they're very small and flaky, but they're heaven. And the chocolate one reminded me of like the Milo ice cream. If you're in Australia and never had that, the like cup of sort of malted chocolate ice cream, super good. Okay, the next thing is quite dangerous but so good. These lentil chips, they sell the plain ones which are vegan of course, but the jalapeno ones are vegan too, which is kind of cool because in the flavoured chip department it's a little tricky to get vegan ones. Australia, like, there's hardly any flavoured chips, they all have milk in them. That's why these are great. They are a bit spicy but they're kind of just like at the top of my threshold, so yay for me. One chip packet that I didn't include in this but I know are vegan and are super good are the Tyrrell's apple cider vinegar and sea salt. It's like an orange packet. They actually are labelled vegan. All the other Tyrrell's flavours aren't, but they're delicious. Had a lot of them when went on a driving holiday from Canberra to the New South Wales coast in the car. Really good. Another thing which is actually quite a super convenient item is already shelled edamame. I know they've sold like the potted? Does that mean they're shelled? Anyway, the edamame is still in their shell for a while. But this is great if you want to make a quick like buckwheat or sushi bowl type thing, or just want to snack on them, because they're a super good protein source for vegans. Like, they're very whole. Yeah, that's super great. Already shelled, how convenient. Anyway, they do exist, although you might miss them because the packet's quite small and it's in amongst the other small green giblet frozen goods section, like peas and beans and whatnot. So they do exist. Hooray! In the chia department, there's these like small pureed chia pod things. Look, I've had one before and this will be the last one I'm buying because excess package alert. They're just like chia seed pudding except pureed, because I'm imagining they're like, oh, young children don't like the texture. Well, they should be, because this is kind of unnecessary. It's still delicious, of course, but like their pudding with just the chia seeds is fine. Although I'm kind of hypocritical saying that because I only really like the chocolate one, because I find the vanilla pudding, the flavour doesn't compensate for the kind of bally type texture. But another little hack you might appreciate is if you're baking and want a chia egg to hold things together, act like a binder, then chia seed pudding already made, or this, is super foolproof, because sometimes, let's be real, if you make chia seed pudding it can be a bit lumpy and the seeds can absorb water in a really uneven fashion. And if you're making brownies or whatever, well, it doesn't really matter if it's chocolatey. So yeah, it's really quite unnecessary with the packaging and everything, but still good. Since we're on the chilled item train, apparently, Bio Cheese have come out with a halloumi. Hello. Bio Cheese sort of have like a plasticky type flair to their cheeses, and in the beginning I wasn't a big fan, but actually, I don't know, like I've sort of found that cheese is something I don't need with every meal, and so it's kind of like a little add-on flair that is kind of nice in vegan cooking. So their plastickiness sort of, in my mind, I've just made peace with the fact that it's a little bit not like cheese. Anyway, I haven't tried this yet, but I will insert some clips of me making like a salad type thing with roasted pumpkin and rocket. I'm hoping it's good, but it does look in the same plasticky vein. I know it's a bit of a misconception that people think like vegan cheese is like a homogeneous product. Like, there's no difference between any of them. There's no like parmesan or mozzarella, but this is contributing to busting that myth. One other thing I was excited to see in the yogurt department was So Delicious almond yogurt. So I've tried almond yogurt because there are a few brands going on, but they just sort of taste like almond milk panna cotta, in that it's just almond milk that's been set, and almond milk is quite watery, so I don't have high hopes. This is on special. Probably won't buy it again because I don't know, I'm not, unless it was soy yogurt, because I have had that a lot when in Europe for breakfast and it's so creamy and fab. Yeah, I'm expecting this to be a bit watery, but what does give me hope is So Delicious in Woolworths. They do so many different things that are very welcome to hop, skip and jump over here, I think, unless they're owned by some like horrendous parent company. But yeah, they do ice creams and all sorts, so hopefully this is the start of like a super big swath of new vegan options coming over. Then the thing I'm most excited about, in the chilled section, I've eaten this, that's why it's empty, but there's this Unreal company's brand of chicken nuggets, and hello. Okay, so I have tried the Unreal Co. burgers. They have about 4, and I found them at some other sort of supermarket type thing, and they're really good. What's more exciting about them is they're gluten-free. Like, they're made out of fermented rice and soy, pea and rice protein and starches like corn, potato and rice, and different herbs and flavors, and they're not made out of like vital wheat gluten type thing, so they're gluten-free, and a lot of like mock meats and whatever are not. So if you're needing to be gluten-free for whatever reason, don't just do it for like, it's healthy. Just if you are needing to be, then we've got an option. Cha-ching! It was in Woolworths near the the tofu section, and it poses a number of options. You can deep fry it, shallow fry it, oven bake it and microwave it. It has a little crunch rating on how that will go. But I tried it with the oven bake, and next time I would shallow fry it. They're super filling, they have a bit of a spice to it. I sort of say all this in another what I ate in a day video, which will probably come out after this. Ooh, so sorry about that. But yeah, they were pretty reasonable as a starting price. They were $6 and you get like 6 quite super filling pieces. They're more like fried chicken bits, so I don't know if nuggets is the best visual for them, but if that's a starting price, then hopefully they'll come down in price, and that's pretty good compared to like the Beyond Burger. I'm thinking like, well, that's worlds apart in the price department. So exciting though. I really hope more of this company comes to Woolworths, because that'd be epic. Barbecues, summer, anything sorted. But yeah, they do taste chickeny and they are good, if I didn't say that. Okay, last thing from that I found at Safeway. No, not Safeway, Woolworths. Sorry, I'm a child of when it was Safeway. These hot cross buns. I know this is just, it's kind of Easter time, 3 weeks out or something, so that's why these are appearing. But they don't have the actual brand name on them, but it is the same brand as, I'll put it on the screen, it starts with Z, bakehouse that does all sorts of like loaves of gluten-free vegan bread, which are heavenly. Like the texture's phenomenal, but these are really good. They're a good size, which all sorts of gluten-free things like just shrunk. It's like, well, we have the same appetite. Yeah, and they cut well and the texture's great. They are a bit more gummy, but it's not on an extreme level, because gluten-free bread can sometimes be just, I don't know, catering for some bread parallel universe, which most people like, huh, when they eat it. Okay, tangent. They're really good and toast great. And they have them in fruit and fruitless. And the last thing I found at health food stores, which are really great, is the Sindian sausages. I imagine they'll come to supermarkets, because like the Sindian falafels and pumpkin bites and whatnot are in the freezer section. But the sausages are kind of their best product. I know I've mentioned them in some other What I Ate video, or maybe on Instagram. They have a number of flavors, but I found the cheesy kale and cashew to be the nicest and the texture to be good. Some of the others are a bit sort of pasty. I imagine like a veggie burger in like a clear casing that is vegan. And they're gluten-free too, which is nice, because no sausages really are. You couldn't really slice and fry them up, which you can with others. They're a bit more crumbly on the inside, but they're great and vegetable, like laden, recognizable ingredients. Yay! And the repackaging, well done, because I don't know, it could do with it. But yeah, I think that's everything I have to show you. Thank you for watching. If you have any other things you've spied in Woolworths, or Coles actually could be helpful, then list them below. Or the country you're in, what the heck. Yeah, there are really more and more options being added every week, which is very exciting. Rightio. Okay, thank you for watching. I already said that. Hope you're doing well, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.